What objects are everyday and common in Germany that don't exist in the US?
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie.
And I'm Aubrey.
And we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. There are some things that you may have grown up with around that almost just feels like a fact of life that they exist, and you would never even think about how someone from another country may have no idea that these objects exist. These could be the most mundane objects in your daily life that you don't think twice about, yet for a foreigner living in a new country, they can almost be extraterrestrial and fascinating. When we moved from the US to Germany 2 years ago, we came across things we now see or use in our everyday lives that for our first 27 years of life didn't even know existed. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about today in our video. Doesn't exist where we're from, but now we always use them.
Our experiences are definitely specific to where we are originally from, a state in the southern US called Oklahoma, and where we live now in the southwestern German state of Rhineland-Pfalz. Both of these places have their own unique subcultures that may not be representative of the two countries as a whole. Therefore, let us know your experiences with these things in the comments below and where you're from. Also, if you're from a different country than these two, we want to hear about what these things are like where you live.
When moving or visiting a new country, one thing that you can rest assured you'll find differences in is food. One thing we didn't anticipate, however, is the first thing on our list that we didn't know existed, and that is paprika chips.
For Americans watching, paprika is the word used in Germany for what we call a bell pepper. Now, for those same viewers, have you ever heard of a bell pepper flavored chip? Interestingly enough, even with our massive assortment of chip flavors in the US like dill pickle or baked potato, one simple flavor that we had never seen before was bell pepper. Yet in Germany, this is the flavor for chips.
In fact, according to Handelsblatt, when American chip company Lay's first tried to infiltrate the German chip market in 2000, mostly the company ignored peculiarities of the German market, such as a preference for paprika. Instead, it offered globally popular tastes like salted and barbecue, and the brand disappeared as quickly as it arrived. Fast forward to 2021, and Lay's has now started to make a slight dent in the German snack market as they finally introduced a paprika flavor in their German chip lineup, as this remains the flavor for chips in this country. If we were to describe the flavor to those that haven't tried it, it is surprisingly similar to a barbecue flavor chip in the US, but of course not exactly like that. And I wouldn't say it tastes like you're just biting into a bell pepper either. However, we know a lot of foreigners in Germany see them for the first time, and they are a little bit suspicious of this flavor, but then this flavor quickly becomes their favorite once they actually try it. So my questions to you are, what is your favorite chip flavor, and what is the strangest chip flavor you have ever seen?
Keeping on the food theme, to buy groceries in the US, we had, of course, supermarkets, convenience stores, farmers markets, etc., just like in Germany. But one thing we had never seen were Getränkemärkte. Getränkemärkte essentially translates to drink markets or drink stores, and that's exactly what they are. They are just stores that sell loads and loads of assorted beverages. Somewhat similar in the US would probably be a liquor store, which of course are stores that just specialize in and almost only sells alcoholic drinks. But the distinguishing factor in these Getränkemärkte in Germany is that they are not just specific to alcohol.
Go in a Getränkemarkt and you'll find alcohol, but also juices, waters, sodas, and so much more. Where in the US, you would just go to a grocery store for most all drink needs. In Germany, you can do that as well, or go to these stores dedicated just to your hydration requirements. They also are unique for us because of something else we've touched on in other videos, and that being the German habit of buying drinks in large plastic crates. Something that we had also not seen in the US and didn't know existed before coming here. So next time you're in Germany and thirsty, maybe pop into a Getränkmarkt and grab yourself a crate of sparkling water like a true local.
One thing that hasn't changed for us living in Germany versus the US is paying for a gym membership, but thinking about going more than actually going to it. However, the times we do go, we have noticed an interesting thing we didn't know existed before seeing it in Germany, and that is a separate pair of shoes specifically for wearing just at the gym. Of course, we know there are specific shoes you might wear if you're running, then you might change into weightlifting shoes to lift weights, but what we are talking about are bringing more than one, what we would call tennis shoes, to the gym. For example, maybe you have tennis shoes you wear as street shoes to the gym, and they're the kind you could work out in as well, but you instead bring another pair of tennis shoes in a gym bag that are just worn inside to work out in and never see pavement outside.
As we've discussed in other videos, Germans are much more prone to not wear their shoes inside their homes and will often take their shoes off upon entering their home, then put on their slippers. This, of course, is to keep the dirty outside floors that the shoes have walked on from spreading their nasty dirtiness on the home floors. Well, the same applies to gym floors and gym equipment. Rather than getting all the equipment dirty or floors where someone might be getting down to do their push-ups, for example, you're supposed to bring clean gym shoes that you only wear in the gym. So just like going home and putting on your slippers, in a German gym, you can come in and put on your gym shoes. This is, of course, in contrast to what I would say most Americans do, where they wear their gym shoes they're going to work out in from the home to the gym. Now, I am interested in knowing from our German audience though, is this something that you always practice actually? Or is it something that you know you probably should do, but you don't? And also, I do want to ask that if you're enjoying this video, please remember to hit that like and subscribe buttons, as it would be a huge help in supporting our channel.
In one of the first videos we did after moving to Germany, which unfortunately is our #1 most popular video, and I would suggest you not watch it to avoid the cringe, but in it we discussed something we didn't know existed and were surprised by, and that being our poop shelf toilet. Now, what is ironic about this is that our toilet really isn't a true poop shelf toilet, something we have since learned through experience.
True poop shelf toilets typically are reverse of what you are used to, where the bowl really is less a bowl and more a platter with a flat and long shelf, and there's a small drain at the front of the bowl rather than at the back. This way, everything is caught on the high platform before splashing down, and according to our understanding, they are this way so that you are better able to inspect your stool after going. One thing we have noticed because of this design and the lack of water covering up the excrements is that they often are the stinkier of the toilets to use.
Of course, there are health benefits to knowing the status of your poo and how you should maybe change your diet based on what you see, but we're still not convinced we need these types of toilets to exist. Now, we're all about trying new experiences, having open minds, and hearing other world views. So how about you Germans? We've heard these are going out of style, but do you still like them, and do you have one?
When we go anywhere in Germany in our car, we must make sure we have something in our car that we had no idea existed before moving here. In most cases, you can't park without this object in Germany, and in the US, we don't really even have an equivalent for it. I'm talking about a Parkscheibe. Parkscheibe translates to parking disc, and it is a little blue card that has a window cut out of it and a wheel inside that has times written on it.
In many places in Germany, you may not have to pay to park, but you are only allowed a specific duration of free parking. For example, say you pull into your grocery store's parking lot and you see you can only stay for 2 hours. In the US, you would simply park, and then it basically is up to the parking attendants to keep track of which vehicles have been there too long. In Germany, you pull out your parking disc, set it to the time you parked, place it on your dash, and then the parking attendants will be able to go around and see who has been parked there over their parking duration limit.
There are many forms of parking discs, from cheap paper ones, plastic ones like we have, or we've even seen in some cars where they have digital ones stuck to their windshield. Whatever the form may be, we had never seen these before, and therefore, since we are used to just parking and taking off, we have had to learn to be very diligent about remembering these exist and to use them when we park and have to pull it out.
So just because something may be commonplace, everyday, and insignificant to you, maybe it is something someone else has no idea exists and is an exciting adventure to discover. If you've ever come across an everyday object in one culture you had never seen before, tell us about it in the comments below.
To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is: team left-handed or team right-handed? Which one are you in? Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe buttons, and we will see you in our next video.
Cheers!
Mostly the company ignore peculiarities.
And see who has been parked there overrate. Gosh.
It's over.
Doesn't it depend on what you're born with? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, so what I'm asking is, are you left-handed or are you right-handed? Yeah.